Okay, good morning. Welcome back to the Hour Project. And, starters, if you had 100 hours, just moving the camera back, 100 hours left to live your life, which breaks down to roughly 4 days. What would you do in those 4 days so that you could live the last moments of your life with satisfaction? What three things would you do for the three most important people in your life so that you could die without regrets? That's sort of the situation I'm facing right now, and I've put that as a sub-series of the Greater Honorable Project. So that sub-series is called 1000 Days Till Death. Works out to about 3 years. I have roughly 3 years as of January 2020 to get everything that I want to do in my life done, or at least to learn the principles of management. And that sub-series focuses on abstract skills, but at the same time, it's only a small part of the Greater On-Road Project, which covers everything in life, from money to finance to everything you see on stream here today. If you take a look at the title, welcome to Facebook, if wherever you're from, Facebook, Periscope, Twitch, or wherever, what we have here today are material objects having to do with gifts from my colleagues while I was working overtime yesterday on Saturday. So yeah, I was working Saturday overtime, and I'm going to take some of the things that I received from them, and I'm just going to talk about it today and cover it so that I can feel comfortable using it, consuming it, and then throwing it away once I'm done with it. So that's what I have here for today's stream as a part of the Hour Project, is some material items, specifically gifts from my colleagues, and so it has to do with relationships and objects. It also has to do with inventory, what comes in, what's come out. That's part of the management process that I'm trying to take care of within the Hour Project. So with that being said, I think we can just sort of dive right into it without further ado. So let's see the title. We started on working overtime. So obviously, like I said, I work manufacturing PPE, so safety equipment, yada yada, COVID-19. But even before the whole pandemic started, I worked in this, safety protective wear industry. So with that being said, what's happened is we had a really large order that my boss or my manager is having a hard time trying to get done because it's a huge order and the customer is very demanding. I'm going to leave out a lot of details because that's confidential over there. I will say that anything that that's not business related I can speak about are my wonderful colleagues who, of course, they are fantastic, and I feel that I don't really fit in because I'm a very sort of broken individual, and they've been extremely patient with me, and I've hurt a lot of them. I have. So I just want to express my gratitude to them, and so let's talk about 3 or 4 people because I received about 3 or 4 different gifts, and the first thing I can show directly to the camera are some chocolates right here. So JY, I'm going to say JY, I'll abbreviate her name by JY. She's a mother. I always talk to her to, just a light conversation. I know about her kids, and I always like to ask how her kids are doing. One of them is a soccer player. So anyways, it was her birthday yesterday, so we had some chocolate treats. She had brought some chocolates. I believe the brand, it says Lindt brand chocolates. There are 3 of them. I have eaten one. It's just a wrapper here, and it's extra creamy version now. So this is one sort of souvenir here that I intend on using. I'm not souvenir, something I intend on eating and then discarding. So just some emotional venting here. I've got to, I think, save 2 of these for oatmeal tomorrow. When I put it inside oatmeal, I like to mix it up. So that's the first item here, class 4 item. Everything here today is mostly a class 4 item except for the wine. Class 4 meaning it's for a gift from my colleagues or friends or fellow volunteers. So the first person today was JY and her chocolates. So second item. So the second item right here is actually wrapped in, so logistic wise, just practically speaking, I took some wrappers and I wrapped up the thing that I finished eating. And it came from, I guess, the second colleague I'll name IN, just for abbreviation's sake and for privacy's sake. So IN, she is another fantastic colleague who is also, again, a mother. And, a lot of my colleagues have taken me under their wing, especially I don't have I've just had a very broken family dynamic, and no role models in my life. I had to be my own role model. Of course, there's a lot of things that because of that, lack and am missing and short of. And she's always tried to take me in as her son because she doesn't have. She was a single mother now, and has tried to. And even when she was growing up, she lost her father at a really young age. So she always tries to, give a little bit too much of herself, I feel. And I can definitely sort of relate to that. With that being said, she was cooking up something for her daughter, and they call this Indian type of food dosa. That's what she called it. I asked her for the name dosa. So it's like a wrap, like an egg omelet wrap. It looks like that. Roti, kind of like roti and egg together. And then on the inside, her daughter cooked up something too. And she's around the same age as me. So basically, she cooked up something using dal and red chili peppers, as well as, I believe, onions and fresh coconut. So that was a key ingredient there. Fresh coconut is something that this is probably very common for Sri Lankan cuisine or Indian cuisine, but I'm not familiar with myself. So she told me the ingredients, red chili peppers, but what really stood out was the coconut. So it was kind of sweet and savory all at the same time. Very nice, put it inside a wrap. So her daughter cooked up the inside, the filling, and then Ian herself, she cooked up the wrap, and then they wrapped it up in this tin foil, which I have inside here, bundled up inside the other wrappers, and then gave it to me for, I guess, dinner yesterday. So again, just a really nice item from someone who I really cherish in my life, and most of my life I've had no one. I've had no one most of my life, so I always try to show some gratitude to the people I really care about on stream. So that's the second thing. All right, what else do we see? Now, the rest of the items that came from my colleagues, I cannot show on camera because I've already thrown them away. I finished it at work. So there was milk tea. So one of my colleagues, her husband works there too, so it's really a couple. SV, his birthday was just actually Friday, so the day beforehand. And at the same time, while we were working overtime, his wife would bring me a cup of milk tea. So again, that's great. She's someone that I would say is a really strong individual, having had to grow up without parents. So you can really tell that she's a very strong motherly person, very disciplined, very hardworking, and she's not afraid to stand up for herself when she needs to, which is good, because I hope that's something that she teaches her kids. Well, no doubt that she has, I can tell already. Who am I to, talk about parenting? I'm sure that she's done that very well. So that's the third thing. And then finally, the last and fourth thing I received from working overtime. So there's a lot of items, actually. That's why I had the stream completely dedicated to that, is I received just an ice cream bar. An ice cream bar from SV. So SV, the husband who's working there, and a great partner of mine. We like to work together because he gets a lot of shit done and I get a lot of shit done, and it's just the two of us managing the entire department, really. There are 20 other people, but they're doing assembly. So between SV and me, we do all the ink printing, all the whatever, all the logistics, the pump truck, the palletizing, everything goes out like that. All the physical, logistical work, as well as the sort of management type work. So that's that, and I have to say that he didn't really get the chocolate bar, the ice cream himself. It was actually provided from the owners of the company, which I guess I should elaborate a little bit why this last ice cream bar means so much. Again, the ice cream bar is Chapman's chocolate ice cream bar. I don't have to derive so much significance to this, but it is relevant because I've had a really miserable week, unfortunately, because of the way I kind of mishandled the relationships regarding me and the owner's family. Because I couldn't handle the job when I first entered. 6 months into entering the job, when there was this steep increase in workload, I cracked completely. And unfortunately, there have been a series of misunderstandings that I've been the cause of that I haven't been able to resolve. And so, no matter how I tried to do it, whether it was trying to find some particular method or be extra positive and trying that over and over again in different ways, and then trying to get help and advice from different colleagues. I could never figure out myself. I could not figure out what the words and advice from others. And over time, unfortunately, I've hurt a lot of people through my misunderstandings because of the way my misunderstandings. I don't know if I'm not misunderstanding, it's that I've created this environment where there have been so many misunderstandings because I myself, when I was learning the job, had such a difficult time doing it that I became extremely anxious and nervous. For the 9 to 10 hours I was working straight, I would miss my break, miss my lunch, and still couldn't get all my work done. And that took a toll on me, and I started to have arguments with people and also stuff like that. So unfortunately, eventually I actually had to distance myself from pretty much everybody. And that was not a smart move, but it was the better move, unfortunately, because the alternative would have led to a much worse situation, unfortunately. And at this point, when I receive the ice cream bar from him, I just think, I don't feel I deserve it. I just don't. And so I'm going to say JM. I'm going to abbreviate JM, the owner's son, but basically, it's a family-run business. JM and RC, and TM, all of them, his entire family and himself included, he's treated me like his brother. And even when I had to distance myself, he's treated me like a very close friend. And unfortunately, I realized too late that the best way to do a job that demands so much of my attention, 20 different people are calling me. I'm in the bottleneck, and there's 20 different people. It's the flip side. The other side, they have 4 people working on one project. Meanwhile, I'm trying to take care of 20 different people's requests and demands and tasks, and it's all kind of physically laborious as well, so it's kind of heavy lifting kind of shit. And so I cracked, and unfortunately, because of that, even after distancing myself, I realized, that's the best thing I could have done. I should have just shut up, stopped, building good relationships with my colleagues, because it's not going to work. I don't have enough time to speak or even think. Sometimes I couldn't even breathe. And that was a big mistake. Even after distancing myself, JM would always be there. He would always give me chance after chance after chance, even when I felt I didn't deserve it. And so yesterday, long story short, that ice cream bar, I kind of sat there and I didn't want to eat it. But, that's that. That was very long-winded. That was the last thing, and it was a little bit, I guess I got a little bit emotional right there. But that's about as calm as I've been discussing this topic without deep diving too much into the details. And so that is the last and 4th gift item that I received from working overtime with my colleagues yesterday. So that's that. Okay, that's that. And I guess I should reflect that the title isn't really quite accurate, is it? I'm talking about colleagues and relationships. Instead of really just showing the item. I can't have the item shown anyway, so hell, I guess I'm losing a lot of traffic from that. Is that what you call it? But it doesn't really matter. This is a time capsule. The final product of the time capsule. I'm gonna look back on 30 years later and see what goes down. That's not the most important thing. The title of the stream. Everything I talked about is the most important thing. So the last item I have to cover, that I have to talk about, is something that's not from my colleagues. This is a sparkling wine, apple wine, sparkling wine. This one is not from my colleagues, so it's not a class 4 item, it's a class 2 item, meaning it's from my caregivers. And the reason I'm showing it is because even though it's not open yet, I suspect that they will try to offer me this later on in the day. And I do think I'm going to drink some of this. So Canadian apples, 100% Canadian apples, and here's the brand on the back. Really Island, I don't know. Winery, crafted using local Braeburn apples. Mouchot de Pomme is bright, so in French, obviously, again, bilingual in Canada. So with that being said, that's everything. Oh, there's this plastic bag I should mention. IN, the Dosa was inside this white plastic bag, so she gave me that as well. So in total, in terms of gifts items, roughly about 4 to 5 cool items and gifts from my colleagues. And in terms of serving parts, maybe about 15 parts of food, and garbage and packaging. And then we have this wine here from my guardians, which I usually should not touch, but you know, it's wine and I tend to make an exception for alcoholic beverages because it's kind of like a celebratory thing. With that being said, this is the Animal Project, the first of 2 live streams today. So the question is, what's the second live stream? The second live stream is not going to be happening. Usually I end the stream and I start the second stream immediately, but today, no. Today, I said yesterday that I would cover mattresses today. And I, in fact, will do that, but that's going to happen maybe about 15 minutes to at least half an hour later on, maybe. Because I have to clean up everything here and then go upstairs, since I can't bring the mattresses from my rental unit down here to the dining room. I don't have everything set up, so I'm going to go upstairs and get ready before I start the second stream. So this is the Animal Project. That's where we're headed into the next live stream. I would say maybe some things to anticipate after that. I'm not really sure. I don't know what the plan is yet. I'll have to figure that out. So with that being said, hopefully I'll see all of you, my hypothetical imaginary viewers, in the next live stream, about roughly half an hour, 30 minutes or so, when I clean things up, and we'll cover the bed mattresses that, again, have a lot of emotional significance or sentimental attachment that I'm trying to remove, because that's a source of weakness. You have to work through your emotions and then put them aside, and yeah, that's the only way to become strong. You know, a strong, disciplined individual is not constantly caught up by these thoughts and feelings, and I'm trying to get to that point. So with that being said, this is the Animal Project, and I'll see you in the next live stream. Clean this up, put this in the garbage. This is garbage as well, but the rest I'll put in here. I'll put this in the fridge and say that's it. See you in the next live stream.